You're watching YCN, your local view. Program airtime is underwritten in part by Bar Harbor Bank and Trust. Looking to purchase your dream home, finance your business, or just find a better checking relationship? Our New Hampshire team is here to help you. We make award-winning banking happen every day. Contact us to see how we can help you. Member FDIC.
Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, and today we are back here at Spring Ledge Farm in New London, where they are addition to fine harvest products. They also offer a high quality of hard goods products from other local farmers and makers, fresh local dairy and eggs, as well as potting soil, compost, and fertilizers to make sure your plants have the best support. We'll hear more about their efforts and their outreach to the community. We'll visit with another Microgallery artist, Sara Ray. Jean Connolly will give us the history of the Center for the Arts as they celebrate their 15th anniversary. And we'll visit another Sunapee Harbor business as I sit down with Prospect Hill's Cory Flint to hear about his gallery and antique shop. And I'll be joined by Sage Tokach and Gavin King from the New London Barn Playhouse talking about the Children's Theater series there this summer. But first, a few words from another one of the underwriters that makes your Yankee Chronicle possible. Please visit them and let them know you appreciate all they do in our community.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and backup generators. Their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from Spring Ledge Farm, one of our favorite host locations every single summer. And I'm now joined by their owner, Greg Berger. Hi, Greg.
Hi, Abby.
Always a pleasure to check in with you every June. And thank you for taking the time, too, because I know you have a little bit going on this time of year. It's exciting to think about some of the things that are happening currently. Strawberries, you're about to get into corn season. Give us an update.
Yes, strawberry season. We're picking right now, and we will hope to have Pick Your Own open as well. That's the Pick Your Own, and the whole strawberry crop is very weather dependent.
Okay.
And we've had kind of a really up and down weather year this year. So check our website. Right on our homepage, it gives the latest on Pick Your Own Strawberries, daily updates. So that's where to go to find out whether we're open or not. But,
I think some of the best social media content I've seen are these kids that are eating the strawberries, covered in red strawberry juice, sitting in the middle of the field.
Right.
How amazing is that? That must make you feel good.
Yeah, those are great to see, and we love it when we ask the parents, "Oh, do you mind if we post that?"
Definitely. That's the best marketing. It must be that good.
It is. Right.
And talk about corn, also another subject people are excited about this summer.
Yeah, we'll have sweet corn again later this summer. That's one of our favorite crops to grow and one of our favorite customer favorites for sure.
Yeah.
And that'll be in around beginning of August.
Okay. Exciting.
So we have fields around town, some that are our own, some that we lease and rent from local landowners, and they're all within a mile of the farm stand, believe it or not.
Amazing.
So we're able to, it's very local.
Is it true that you want it knee-high by 4th of July, or is that a myth?
That's not necessarily a myth, but that's a good gauge.
A good gauge, okay, it's not wrong.
In New Hampshire, at our latitude, it's hard to do that, especially in a home garden. So don't panic.
Don't panic.
Don't feel bad if this yours is not knee-high by the 4th. You'll still get it, but it's a measure of when you'll have harvestable corn.
All right, good. Yeah. That was always one of my things as a kid driving around with my mom. She'd say, "Oh, knee-high by 4th of July," but I needed a professional to make sure she was right. So obviously the community is so important for your customer base, but the community is important to you too. You do a lot and give back.
Yes, I think like most of the small businesses in town, we know that it's a symbiotic relationship, of course. So we wouldn't be here the way we are without all the great customers we've had over the years.
Yeah.
And being right on Main Street, obviously, it's a big. Yes. Everybody sees it. And so we value the fact that the barn is here and the college is here and the hospital's here and all the local businesses. So and all the events that they do. You
kind of can't do it without the other people.
Right. Exactly.
Tell us about Tray It Forward.
Tray It Forward is a great program. It's the 6th year we've done it. We just finished distributing trays. So it's a coalition between ourselves and Kearsarge Food Hub, Colby Sawyer College, and some New London Hospital folks.
Amazing.
And so we grow here at the farm about 8,000 seedlings, vegetables. Wow. And we package them up into trays of mixed vegetables and give those out to people who are in need of a little helping hand to get their garden going, or they've never gardened before.
What a great program.
Yeah, so it's Kearsarge Neighborhood Partners is a huge part of that too.
Yes, they're doing amazing partnerships in the name. And we'll see you in the parade this year.
Yes, as always.
Throwing flowers, we hope.
We'll be in the parade. We've already got our poster up to try and encourage the crew to start brainstorming ideas. Life is a circus.
Circus theme this year. Well, you're very humble. You give back a lot, and I know the community is very thankful for not only the beautiful products that you give, but that you are so supportive of this community as well.
Be here without them for sure, and we get a lot of support from them even through the winter. We have CSAs that a lot of people sign up for, which is basically mini loans to the farm during the winter when there's when we need the money to keep buying seeds and pay people and all that. So it's a huge.
How long have those CSAs been in place?
Probably 10 or 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a flower CSA, a vegetable and fruit CSA, and then we have a farm share CSA, which is essentially a free choice. You buy a gift card for yourself, and we give you an extra 10% in the winter. And then you can start using it in the spring for anything at the store.
Amazing.
And so we have all sorts of things in the farm stand, not only our own plants and produce, but local foods, local meats, local dairy, breads, cheeses, all sorts of stuff.
And we should quickly mention the shed behind us is the Tommy DePaula shed. Last year we sat in the Tommy DePaula gazebo, right? So he's an important part to Spring Ledge Farm.
Yeah, he was a fantastic supporter of the farm, great customer. Just obviously he's Tommy.
Sure.
And he wrote a book on Striganona's harvest, and that was a fun one. And he talked a little bit at the beginning about Spring Ledge as a tribute or a front page thing. And so then when he passed away, unfortunately, 4 or 5 years ago, and we were able to bring a shed. This was his pool.
Amazing.
And a gazebo. We brought them over here
and they live on.
And they live on, yeah.
How fantastic.
It's nice spots. Yeah.
Well, Greg, it's always a pleasure to come every single year. Thank you for hosting us and being a great partner of YCN. And I encourage everyone to come by and just walk around, but definitely come and take a look of all the beautiful things you have and pick up something for dinner too.
That's right.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Abby.
Be sure to check out all the seasonal gifts from the ground and around here at Spring Ledge Farm. When we return, we'll visit another one of the artists showing in a Center for the Arts Microgallery and join their 15th anniversary celebration at Colby Sawyer College. But first, these words from another one of the great businesses that makes your Yankee Chronicle happen every week here on YCN. You could be one too. For more information, contact us at info@ycnnow.com.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
Mary Poppins. Based on the books by P.L. Travers and the classic Walt Disney film, Mary Poppins will capture your hearts in a practically perfect way. Young Jane and Michael Banks has sent many a nanny packing before the mysterious Mary Poppins arrives on their doorstep. Using a combination of magic and common sense, she must reunite this family and teach them how to value each other once again. Mary Poppins takes the children on many magical and memorable adventures, but Jane and Michael aren't the only ones who she has a profound effect. Even grown-ups can learn a lesson or two from the nanny who advises that anything can happen if you let it. Don't miss out on this magical musical adventure for the entire family.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle, coming to you from Spring Ledge Farm in the heart of New London, New Hampshire. I'm Abby Peel. The Center for the Arts does so much for artists in our area, from coordinating events, providing classes, and establishing microgalleries for artists to showcase their works. One is at the New London Inn, where Sara Ray now has her work hanging. Hi, Sara.
I received my bachelor's degree at Plymouth State University in 2004. I received it in graphic design, and once I graduated, I got married and had a family, and my art career was put on hold. About 6-7 years ago, I took up art quilting, and that kind of spurred my creativity again. And then from there, I did some mixed media painting, started in acrylic, and then moved to oils, and that's where I've kind of landed, and I'm happy. So this is my work here. You can see that I'm quite fond of florals and still lifes. I like the simple things that I can find around my house. You know, I save jars and things like that, and you'll see those show up in my work a lot of the time. And my color palette remains the same. I use the same colors through every painting. I've only been painting in oils for a little over a year, so what I found most helpful was a daily practice. I paint almost every single day. And that's the way that I've learned to mix colors, along with YouTube videos, a lot of help with other artists, and then just practice, putting in the miles. So these were all done in February. It was part of a February challenge where you were to paint flowers every single day for 28 days. I learned a lot about myself during that time, and I think I progressed a lot. My work since then has evolved even more, but the subject matter stays the same. My website is sararayfineart.com. I'm also on Instagram at sararayfineart, and I post there quite frequently.
Thanks, Sara. These accommodations for artists did not happen overnight. They are all part of the efforts to make the arts more accessible in our region. It all started 15 years ago. We are now joined by one of the founders of this effort, Jean Connolly. Hi, Jean.
Tonight is a very exciting night for us, celebrating our 15th year and launching the turning point of the Center for the Arts. We are here with friends, with artists, with members, with donors and sponsors to celebrate these past 15 years and to look to the future for what's going to happen next. We're at Colby Sawyer College. The venue is spectacular. We have entertainment, food, drinks, and just a great gathering spot for us to recollect where we've been in the past 15 years and to think ahead. Where will we be in the next 15 years? 15 years ago, there were no art associations, cultural institutions that supported the arts and the creative individuals in our region. There was a void in our region, and to fill that void, the birth of the Center for the Arts. And from 15 years ago, we have done so much to bring the arts to our community with events and programs, and also to support the creative individuals that live in our midst, and to support the arts organizations that are also throughout the Lake Sunapee region. 15 years ago, we had a vision, and with that in mind, the Center for the Arts was born through the dedication of our volunteers and the vision of the incredible board members that we've had along the way. This idea has grown into a dynamic organization, offering more than 35 arts programs every year throughout the Lake Sunapee region. Today, the Center for the Arts proudly supports 5 microgalleries, 2 summer art shows, First Friday events, programs in humanities, theater, music, and literature, and school arts enhancement programs, and student scholarships. This past year marked a major milestone for us, the opening of our very own physical center, made possible by the generous support of our members, sponsors, and donors. And we're very grateful to all of them. And now we're entering into an exciting new chapter. With the launch of the Creative Classroom, we are beginning to fill the vital need in our community by offering year-round art classes and workshops for all ages. We thank our members, our donors, our sponsors, the business partners, and the towns that we work with, and the community in general for all of the support they have given us over the past 15 years. And we invite you to continue supporting us so that we can bring more to the region. We hope you'll consider generously giving to this new campaign, the Arts Education Campaign, that we're kicking off. Together we can inspire creativity, build community, and support the next generation of artists. So please, check out our website and see what we're doing. There's so much going on here in the Lake Sunapee region, and we're proud to be a big part of it. So check out our website, see what we're doing, and find out how you can participate, volunteer, or support all that we do.
Thank you, Jean, and all those that have made and continue to make the arts accessible in the Lake Sunapee region. When we come back, I'll visit Cory Flint at Prospect Hill Antiques, Furniture and Art Gallery in Sunapee Harbor. But first, these words from another Yankee Chronicle underwriter.
This program is supported by Main Street Bookends of Warner. For books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from Prospect Hill Antiques right here in Sunapee Harbor. And I'm now joined by Cory Flint, who's one of the owners here at Prospect Hill. Hi, Cory.
Hello.
Thank you for hosting us and joining me for these 2 weeks. Let's talk about the history of Prospect Hill, because you mentioned the barn last week, which I think a lot of people obviously know and love. It's quite famous. But talk about the history and how you ended up here in the harbor.
Yeah, so Ron and Barbara Sullivan started the barn, started Prospect Hill Antiques. I believe it was 1976, and I joined them in the late 90s, right out of high school. Started by doing simple tasks, you know, some of the shipment of containers from Europe that we'd unload, as well as some of the grounds maintenance, and then it just kind of morphed into a part-time job, which then became a full-time job, and worked there for 16 years before I bought the business back in 2016. So kind of the transition from the barn to the harbor. I was a local guy, grew up here in the neighborhood, so to speak, in Lower Village, and always loved the harbor, had a passion for it, always wanted to be part of it. It was kind of in my blood, if you will. And Rick Maston started working with us in, I believe, 2017, and he kind of had a similar vision or a dream, so to speak. And in 2018, we were able to purchase this building and moved Prospect Hill over officially 2 years ago from the barn. So we're excited about that. So we're here at 31 River Road, right in Sunapee Harbor, formerly known as Pete's Shed, as many people know it.
And it's completely different than the Red Barn space. So what was the vision? I mean, obviously the natural light that you get here must just be huge in terms of how you see some of these pieces.
For sure. So I started again at the barn, almost 20 years ago now, or 22 years ago, and as I grew there and listened to folks and became very active on the sales floor, one of the faults of the barn was for a vision for people to see what the furniture or what the piece could look like in their home.
Interesting.
So this was kind of more of an in-home type vision for people to come in and see the furniture in a space that more closely resembled the room in their house. And then once we introduced the artwork 5 years ago as part of Prospect Hill's offering, it was just easy. It was easier for people to walk in and see what they needed to instead of imagining.
Sure.
Which, we love the barn for those reasons.
Right.
We could fit a lot of inventory, but oftentimes people would walk by the piece that they would later fall in love with,
right.
but it might be a year later or 3 years later before they notice that same piece.
Exactly.
So this really kind of showcased not only the furniture, but also the artwork.
And you can mimic dining room sets, a sofa with a coffee table, a seating area in here beautifully. Yep. And talk about the art too, because you have it placed, I'm guessing, quite strategically with something that would pair well together. But you said the art's fairly new, but you have quite the collection here.
So the showing art is new to Prospect Hill as of 5 or 6 years ago. Of course, we have a customer base that's 40 years old. So not everybody has visited us in the last recent years. So they're always pleasantly surprised with the art when they come in. But we do, and Rick has a big role in that. We do try to position and place the art with more modern or contemporary furniture, if that's the type of art that we're showing. And then some of the more traditional art we'll put maybe with an antique. But we also like to really be eclectic, show a great mix. We work with several designers throughout New England. So we've always taken a piece of that back with us.
Sure.
So oftentimes, when folks don't necessarily think they need a designer, they'll have us come out to the home, kind of look at their space, or they'll show us pictures via email, and we'll help them kind of formulate a plan. So without saying that we're designers, so to speak, we help in design in certain rooms. And sometimes it's only a few pieces, sometimes it's a whole room full.
Sure.
Sometimes it's just one, what we call kind of signature piece that really kind of makes a room jump and gives people a dynamic look that's different from kind of the cookie cutter design world.
And you have some amazingly unique, beautiful pieces here. So I'm sure it's hard to pick, but definitely something very cool to think about in somebody's home and be able to place it there. Well, Cory, thank you so much for hosting us these last 2 weeks, and I encourage people to pop in. There are 3 floors of things to look at here, so you might miss something, but you should come back again.
That's right. We have, even though it's smaller than the barn, we have 6,500 square feet with 3 floors, so there is lots to see.
And you're always moving stuff around, too. So
always out buying and looking for the next new thing.
When we come back, we'll be joined by Sage Tokach and Gavin King from the New London Barn Playhouse talking about this summer for children's theater.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. We are now joined by Sage Tokach and Gavin King from the New London Barn Playhouse talking about the Children's Theater series there this summer.
Yes, The Wizard of Oz opens our Children's Theater series this summer, and the Children's Theater series is performed by our junior intern company, which Gavin is the director of.
Yes, mirroring the intern company on stage, we have interns that come from surrounding areas, and this year is one of our biggest numbers. We have a total of 56 JIs in our program, and their ages are from middle school all the way up to high school. And we opened up with one of the tale of oldest times, straight from Kansas, kicking our heels 3 times to go home, and that is Wizard of Oz, which has a unique take that this is the Muni version, so it's a little surprise, so you have to come to see what it's about.
Yes, so this version of The Wizard of Oz is directed by our fabulous director, Ishu, who has worked with us in the past, is coming to us directly from UT Austin, but is originally from India, and we were super excited to have him because he has such a great artistic mind and also was not familiar with the story beforehand, so he has a very fresh take on the story and is excited to dive into it.
Yes, it's great. We've been working on it right now, so come see it after the 4th. It's going to be a great time. And one of the awesome things about this year is that some of our JIs are able to be on stage in the main stage shows. We have 2 that were in Bridges, and we have coming up in Mary Poppins, we have 4 that are local students able to go on stage and perform with these actors and directors and choreographers from all over around the world. So it's a great time at the JI program this year.
And they are with us weekdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., so it very much models the main stage rehearsal schedule and is a chance for a full summer theater intensive. This Girl Laughs, This Girl Cries, This Girl Does Nothing is a show that I have wanted to direct for a really long time. I discovered it back when I was in grad school, and I actually know the playwright Finnegan Krugemeyer, who lives in Australia and writes really amazing poetic works for young audiences. And so this is a story of 3 sisters, and it starts very traditional fairy tale like. They have a new stepmother that comes in, and she banishes them into the woods, and they're dropped in the middle of the woods, and they each have to make a decision. So one decides to move forward and see what's out there in the world, one decides to go back and try to retrace her steps where she came from, and one stays put and builds a home right there in the woods.
I have the wonderful pleasure to be able to direct and choreograph this production this summer, and it's a tale as old as time. You got your fairy tales, you got The Baker's Wife, you have Jack and the Beanstalk, you have Little Red. All these great fairy tales come into the woods, and having this journey, it allows them to grow and become these new and improved versions of themselves. And with this version, we're diving a little bit more into how does this story relate to what's going on in the world, and how do we bring it to accessibility to those who may not know these stories of Little Red or about Jack and the Beanstalk. And so there's some cool elements that all the production team has come together to start developing, and so it's going to be a great time at the barn.
All of the Children's Theater Series productions take place on the Barn Playhouse main stage.
It's a great time for the family, the children, and the grandparents, so come on out. All of our mainstay shows for the children's series are age appropriate.
We also this year have added the Encore series, and the recommended age is 10 plus. But the Encore series is a chance for the junior interns to get some extra performance experience in some specialized areas. So first we have the Junior Intern Cabaret, where students are working with staff to create their own musical numbers based on what skills they want to build. Then we have the Shakespeare Scene Study.
Yes, which is led by Adam Key, which is a local artist. He's coming to help us lead in diving into Shakespeare and how to make it, again, more accessible and more understandable for those not only in the show, but also the audiences as well.
And lastly, we have a staged reading of Beetlejuice Jr. So this is something we've been talking about for a while, that the teens that are part of the Junior Intern Company are interested in doing works specifically made for teens and older students, but we have to balance that with the goal of reaching children and family audiences. So this is our way of providing that extra challenge in an environment where we just get to add an additional show without taking something away from the season. Yes, our summer camps program have started. So we have 2 age groups in summer camps, the Barney Buddies for age 6 to 8 and the Main Street Players for age 9 to 11. We have 8 weeks of summer camp this summer and a fabulous group of professional teaching artists coming in, and spots are filling up. There might be a couple registrations left, but not much.
So register now before it's too late.
Thanks, Sage and Gavin. It sounds like a great summer for the kids. We'd like to thank our host location these last 2 weeks, Spring Ledge Farm. Their farm's growth and success over the years continues to be a team effort and is highly dependent on the help of all the crews here. Join us next week from the Lake Shop right on Sunapee Harbor. See them for shoes, clothing, bathing suits, hats, sunglasses, and more. Our next replay game of the week is the 2024 Kearsarge versus Lebanon football game. All of our games replay at noon and 7 p.m. on Sundays and Mondays. Check out ycnnow.com for the most up-to-date schedules and on-demand viewing of all of our shows. Thanks again to Greg and his great crew here at Spring Ledge Farm for hosting us. They are another great local business that supports your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel. Join us again next week at this same time.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner. For books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art, Main Street bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
The American Red Cross blood supply is at historically low levels this winter, and we're facing a dangerous situation. Hospitals and patients are counting on donors to get the blood they need. Make a life-saving appointment today. Visit redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS.